All right, we're getting ready to start another one, and we also have this one over here. I don't know if we're gonna hit that one today. We might wait on that one because there's a lot more leaves to come down there, just like here. But we're gonna go ahead and get this cleaned up. And James over there taking before pictures. I took before pictures as well. You need to remember to do that because you got to advertise, man. You got to advertise, and before and after pictures say a lot. All right, it shows proof of concept. So if you want to get jobs, you need to show proof of concept. What's up, man? So we're gonna go ahead and get these cleaned up. Like I said, there's a lot of them dropping. There's a lot more from this big one back here. Well, this tree's gorgeous, man. I just love the yellows. I do a lot of oak trees, and they're brown. They're pretty in their own way, but like the maples over there with the red. Oh man, yards like that, I just, you know what I mean? You just love doing them. Let's go ahead and take a look at the back here. We got this side area. This side area is just trashed out, and the back, well, the back's crazy. Look at all these leaves on the back porch. Whoa. All right, so she's got, check this out, one massive oak. Let's look up here. This huge massive oak, and then over here, this one's huge too. And just look at the base on these monsters. That thing's 4 foot wide. That one's every bit of 4 foot wide as well. It's a lot of leaves to clean up. Now back here, we are not going to really mess with the bed. We're gonna get them off the patio. We're gonna get them out of like the easy areas. So over here, we'll get them out of there. We'll get them out of here. We're not really gonna mess over there with the vines and over here with the vines. And the reason being is we have so many dropping that I'm not really worried about that. Right now, it's just get the massive bulk cleaned up, come in, and this makes it economical for a client that we're focusing on the bulk. Just come in and shotgun blast clean up the majority. Now we'll get the majority, but we're not worrying about polishing every leaf because I'm gonna be back here reoccurring over and over and over. And we're getting some breeze. By this time tomorrow, the leaves might be like half as bad as they are now. So there's that. Now here, the lawn's not that pretty and we don't have brand new grass, so we can actually take these leaves and shotgun blast them. Hello, shotgun blast. I don't know. Anyways, all this comes out. All the stuff in this bed comes out. We want the front looking awesome. The back, if they want it, the front's gotta look awesome. And we're starting to contend with wind. And it's fighting against us because it's coming from over there and pushing this way, in this direction. It's not real heavy, but we are getting a few heavy gusts like you saw in the last one. In which case, you know, you start blowing and then here comes this big gust. Stop blowing. Cut off the blower. Stop until the wind stops, because you're just going to kick those up and make it easy for the wind to push back. You want to actually wait until that wind stops and blow the leaves between gusts. If you can, you want to try to use the wind to your advantage and have the wind at your back pushing the leaves forward with you. Yeah, little tip. We're gonna go ahead and get into this one. All right, I've got James taking befores in the back right now. Before I get into this, let's go ahead and give you a plan of attack. Now the wind has shifted and it's blowing the other way, so it's shifting wind. Great. I'm gonna start over here. I like to start on a corner, blow it out, and especially get all the areas up here. It doesn't make sense to start on the lawn. Get the beds first, get it onto the turf. From the turf, you can work it. And we have a parking lot blower. I'm gonna go ahead and bust that out for this one and just see how it works for us. And what I'm gonna do is put all of these leaves probably over on the driveway, and we're gonna bring this stuff from the back as well, and see how that goes. So we might end up mulching up quite a bit in the back. We do that a lot too, so we'll just see. But once we get it on the turf, I can either use, really I would probably use the 61 in this case, because I can just use the 61 and kick it up here. But we're probably gonna go ahead and use that parking lot blower just to test it out. Of course, we got a lot of wind right now too, so. What do you think of wind, James?
It's blowing pretty good.
Yeah, wind ain't good. Let's go ahead and get this started. What's up? Welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time, hey, welcome to the channel, and I hope that you enjoy it. I know you will, so go ahead and subscribe now because you're gonna. Anyways, today I'm sitting in the office. We're editing this video, and we're gonna talk about how windy it is. But I've got Rachel with me. Rachel.
Hi.
Yeah, see, Rachel's here. And we're gonna go ahead and talk about doing some leaf cleanups. Rachel's done quite a few leaf cleanups with me, and one of the things we're gonna go ahead and start with is we're gonna talk about wind, because if you look up, you can see
not in our favor.
it was crazy that day. So, one of the things that was asked on the channel recently is, hey, how do you blow leaves in like 17, 20 mile an hour wind? Well, the answer is you just got to do what you got to do. So hopefully,
Dance with it. Dance with the wind.
So you got to cut off the blowers when the wind's blowing in your face. But ideally, what you want to do is have the wind at your back, so it's helping you work the pile. But sometimes it just doesn't work that way, and it's working against you. So there's several things you can do there. One of the things I like to do is use the mower more, because it'll shred up the leaves and you can kind of push it out of the way. So like nowadays we have like the biggest, baddest blowers we can get, and we've got a really good, in my opinion, a pretty good leaf setup. But yeah, only a few years ago, I was cleaning up leaves and I just didn't have that nice of a setup, man. Like I pulled tarps into a trailer, and even before I had a trailer, I was I would put the leaves in a bag and I left them at the property, or I'd load them up into the back of my truck bed and haul them away. I mean, my first leaf cleanup was huge, and I eyeballed it. And this is why I talk so much about charging by an hourly rate. It's because I eyeballed it and I was like, $50. And then it ended
this
up.
was the first time that I heard this today. Like, because I remember like I was thinking it would be $250, just because of where we are now. Like if we would have done that, but then hearing when you said what that price was, and I know that area, and I remember like those jobs that you're doing, $50 when we didn't have a blower turning. All we had was a rake and then that little truck.
It would probably be a $500 cleanup nowadays.
Oh my gosh! And you would be gone on a job for days at a time.
Yeah, so that cleanup took me, I don't know, it was 2 or 3 days, and it was in the middle of February. It was so cold, man. It was just so bitter cold. Like I had actual icicles, in my mustache, and just stupidly cold. I had a little handheld Poland Pro hand blower, black and yellow, and I was cleaning up these leaves. And the reality of it is, like, I knew after a few hours, like, I had significantly undercharged because I'd barely made a dent in this property. The wind was blowing like crazy, so I was like having to redo sections, and it was an absolute nightmare, right? But that's what you have to do when you're learning, man. You got to get out there, you got to get dirty, you got to figure out how to price on your own. I'm not saying you can't skip years of pain by watching people like me that are telling you their honest feedback of things that have happened with them in their life and in their business, because there's a lot of really good content on YouTube. There's a lot of people selling content, which I'm not against. Maybe I'll do that down the road, but I'm telling you right now, I'm not opposed to shelling out as much as I can that's awesome, good content that really helps somebody out in the beginning, because I know what it is like to have to go out and freeze your nuts off in the bitter cold to make sure your family's taken care of. There was one comment on one of my videos where I was talking about like the struggle, right? When we were starting and not having water, and like they bashed me. They were like, "Oh, you're so stupid. Your wife was pregnant and you didn't even have hot water." No.
He made sure.
Shut up.
His wife was able to take the best baths ever. So screw that comment, because they had no idea what was going on behind the scenes.
So here's the thing.
He did everything he could to keep this woman and his baby at home.
Yeah. So right, that's another thing. A lot of people hear all the time about, like, and I always heard that too. Like, okay, there's a successful business, and this person's wife is a nurse, or she has a well-paying job, and like, hey, that does help somebody kickstart their business for sure, because a second source of income in any household is going to help you kickstart your business if you're not having to steal all the profits from your business to pay your bills. Okay, if you're allowed to feed fuel to the fire in your business by going out and buying some equipment so that you're more efficient, or get some advertising, or whatever it might be, you know, because the thing is, when the bank account's low and you get desperate, you make dumb decisions. Like, it's actually proven that your brain functions at a lower IQ when you're broke, when you're worried about your financial situation and you're stressing out, because you're in a fight or flight mode. So I mean, it only makes sense. But anyways, Rachel has always been able to stay at home, so we were able to, you know, I mean, I don't want to toot my own horn, but we've accomplished some stuff, which it's not, you know, like, that's the other thing, is I don't want to be a blowhard and be like, look at what I've done, because the reality is, like, it's, a lot of people have done it. I'm not the first one.
But it's not an easy.
But it's not an easy task, and it should be something you should be proud of. So if you're out there and you're a Juggernaut and you're hustling, you're part of the Juggernaut militia, you're one of the army crew out there just killing it. You know, I mean, hold that to yourself. It's something to be proud of. Tell yourself you're a Juggernaut. That's why we named the channel Juggernaut, by the way, is because you're unstoppable, right? So, you know, if you're that type of person, I wanted to give a rallying call. You know, something that you could stand behind and be like, dude, I'm a Juggernaut. Because there's days where it absolutely sucks and you don't want to do it. You hate it. It's brutal work. It's cold, or it's extremely hot. You know, it just depends on the season.
So much hard work.
Yeah, you might trash out your body and just be dead at the end of the day. You get home and, you know, you want to be able to spend time with your family and pay attention, and you might just be dead to the world and need to go fall asleep. You know, I've been so tired that I didn't even eat when I got home. I didn't take a shower. I just crashed where I crashed, you know.
And when you crash, you're so cute and it's so hot too. But you crash to like the most, I don't want to say boring, but yeah, boring, but so much educational or highly educational videos. You fall asleep to people that have like gone through it, and they're, you know, talking, and it's like I've so
spent
cute.
Probably thousands of hours watching YouTube videos. When I'm not working, I'll watch YouTube videos, and you know, it's not just lawn care. I watch other business related channels. You know, I mean, the lawn care has been great because you have to learn the techniques of your trade. And for me, I'm in lawn and landscape. You might not be in lawn and landscape. I've noticed that I've had several subscribers that aren't. You know, maybe you're in a different business. Maybe you don't even own a business. And part of it's just being excited about whatever trade you're in. You know, like when I worked at the factory.
Talking about it, and they're in, like, well, of course, Greg Chisholm,
Yeah.
Eric Barstow, who is in a whole nother industry.
Yeah.
The list could go on.
So, my main point there is you need to be excited. Not to cut you off, Rachel.
No,
you need to be excited about whatever industry you're in and whatever you're doing. So even if it's a job, say you're just working a job and it's a payroll job, whatever it might be, you have to make yourself excited, because if you just go there, you're spending a large portion of your life at work. And if you're bored with it, I'm not saying you have to be happy. It's a luxury to be able to work somewhere and be, you know, if you pick something that you're happy about, you know, what is the saying? You'll never work a day in your life if it's something you love. Well, a lot of people
used to say, like, don't have a job, have a career. So when you have a career, it's something you love, it's something that makes you thrive, it's something that gets you excited. A job.
Well, I like the idea of having a career, but the thing is, like, my point is, though, it's a luxury to do something that you love. We're lucky that we live in the U.S. Like, if you're in the U.S., be proud of it, and if you're in another country, you know, be proud of where you're at. But I'm just going to say, from my experience of living here and then just seeing what I've seen in other places, I feel very, very lucky. And that's not mean like saying we're better than anybody, but
you can educate yourself in
yeah.
anything and thrive from it. You have an option.
Well, I had the opportunity to do whatever I wanted. So, yeah. I mean, we were broke, and I was able to go out and sell services.
On our aquarium.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing. When I got started, okay, some of you, If you guys ask a question, I will dive deep onto whatever you want. This winter I'm going to go through and we're just going to make topics going off the comments and diving real deep into stuff. But, you know, a lot of what I hear is, you know, I want to start a business, but I don't want to, you know, I don't know how to get the first job, or I don't know how to, you know, get clients, and, you know, it's all the same thing but rephrased from different people, okay? So when I first started, you know, we started about this time of year. There was an ice storm in, I think it was in it was in 2013, but there was an ice storm in November. And it was perfect timing. It was definitely a sign from God that I was being led in a direction, because I didn't know what to do. It was the first time in my life that I had ever been in a situation where I didn't have a dependable income. I've been working since I was 12 years old, okay? I've been working since I was 12 years old with contractors, and then when I turned 14, I got my first job. It was a payroll job at Sonic, and I worked my way up to management, and then I went to work at a factory, right? And so that was the first time I never had steady income. And then the ice storm happened, and I was able to start selling, you know, cleanups and stuff. So it worked out real perfect. But here's the thing. I didn't know anything about marketing, and I kind of had this side hustle thing going on while I was working with this contractor, where I was cleaning aquariums. So I just went on Vistaprint, and I had some business cards, and they had like fish on them and stuff, right? And I thought that was, you know, I mean, I didn't know anything about marketing, so I thought if I get like these business cards, the work will just come to me.
It's not that you didn't know anything about marketing; it's that like every dollar was utilized.
Yeah, well, yeah, we were broke at the time too, but I just didn't know anything about marketing because I hadn't been learning about it yet. So here's the thing.
How you learned.
Yeah, I had these business cards. They were the first things that I had, and you know what ended up happening is we had an ice storm, and all I had with my name and phone number on it were these little aquarium cards with fish on it. So I was selling tree work off of writing tree limb cleanup and haul off on this aquarium fish card, and just putting myself out there nonstop. I put out hundreds of these things. I knocked on hundreds of doors, and I got jobs. All right, it's officially dust booger season, so that's exciting. Yeah, I mean, you can see it. It cleaned up. Well, it didn't clean up yet. We got to blow everything into that pile. We're going to rake that, haul it up front, and suck it up. So we'll tarp it to get it up there. It's shred up decent, but that old mower's not really running like it used to, and it's not liking this stuff, so I need to do a tune-up and clean out the carburetor before I get too crazy in the leaf season. But you can see, I mean, there's some big stuff in there, but a lot of it's chopped up relatively small. I painted the floors on the house, all right? So yeah, I mean, it looks better. We just got to round all this up, get it onto a tarp, and then we'll take it up front. yeah, I mulched it up, and then I did put some over there in the beds, but it's okay. It's an organic fertilizer. We just don't want a bunch of it sitting on the turf. It's gonna have a hard time. Now over here, there's still leaves on the ground because they're dropping. They're dropping out of the trees. Man, that's gorgeous redbud. Gorgeous redbud. Look at it. Okay, redbuds have a heart-shaped leaf. Okay, let me see it. Heart-shaped leaf. They'll have little pods like this. Pretty tree. Very, very pretty. Anyways, yeah, I mean, it cleaned up pretty nice. And this is just about getting the bulk, because I'm going to be back every week until Christmas taking care of those big oaks, man. Those big oaks, they just hold so many leaves. And these will drop all year. You'll get about a 50% drop on oaks up until about December. Then every kind of thing kind of slows, and the other half will drop generally in spring. They'll hold on until spring. All right, we gotta let our hose hang flaccid so it doesn't rip off the truck. let it be limp. All right, we're getting a storm front coming in, and the wind has significantly picked up, so we're gonna be fighting the wind at this point on anything else we do. But whatever. But you can see we got it cleaned up, and it looks gorgeous, right? Pretty good. There's still some leaves in the bed. Not bad. We got about 90% of them. And everything else that's left on the lawn like this, well, it's all new drop, man. So you can see them falling out right now. It's because it's windy and it's fall. And guess what happens in fall? Leaves drop. It's 12:18, and we got here at, like, I want to say it was 10:40. And there was some camera time in there, shifting some stuff around and playing around with the new equipment. So I'm just gonna build it, you know, 1.5 hours with two men here, and yeah, whatever. So yeah, that's how I do it. This is a reoccurring client. All my clients know that during leaf season we shift to an hourly basis as far as how we bill out, and it's just because we're here a lot longer. You know, we can't hit 20 leaf cleanups in a day. You might only hit, say, 3 big ones, or, you know, if you're hustling, maybe 6 or 7, you know, with a 1-2 man crew, you're doing a lot there. But you're hauling a lot of material waste too. So I mean, depending on your setup, you might be only able to get one, or maybe even only half of one. I mean, in the first years of my business, there were times that it took me 2 or 3 days to knock out a leaf cleanup sometimes. You know, and what only takes me a couple hours now. And back then I wasn't able to charge by the hour. One, I didn't have the confidence, and 2, I was just too inefficient. I got to cover some more expenses, and we got to up our price a little bit. And it's just kind of interesting how business changed. So, you know, there were some situations in here where, you know, I stopped James and I said, "Hey, what are you doing? Why are you blowing the leaves back with the mower?" Man, it's been all year since we've done leaf cleanup, and James has been gone for like, how long you been gone? 3 weeks? Huh?
3 weeks.
3 weeks now. So he's been honeymooning at his new place with his new wife.
Yeah.
Oh, they don't like seeing the cigarettes in there. He's been, oh, get it, son. They want me to tell you this. They told me.
Mm-hmm.
James is my brother, if you didn't know. Some of you guys are wondering.
Oh, good.
I love him. No, but for real, James is my brother, and he smokes cigarettes
A lot.
a lot. And guess what? I used to smoke a lot. I quit smoking. James, do you know that smoking's bad for you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I was told I needed to tell you smoking was bad for you, and that it causes cancer, and then you're gonna have a hard time breathing.
News.
I know. Have you heard that your whole life?
I have.
Okay, have you ever tried quitting smoking?
I have.
Does it make it more difficult when somebody puts it in your face, you need to quit smoking?
Every time somebody says something to me, I want to light one up.
Yeah. All right, so here's the thing. When somebody is addicted to any substance, I don't care what it is, okay? I've been around a lot of addictions in my life, and I've faced my own addictions, and if you want to judge me for that, you can suck it. I don't care. If you're going through something right now, you want to quit smoking, say you're on prescription medicines, that's very common nowadays, and you know that it's past the point of being beneficial, you know, and that you're just taking it because you're like, I like it. Hey, I was there. So what I'm going to tell you, and I drink energy drinks too, okay? So everybody's got their own vices, and I don't judge anybody for their vices, and I'm not going to be in their face. So if you want to quit, here's how I quit smoking. I broke the buying habit. Okay, I broke the buying habit, and how I did that is I had to change the way I structured my day. So instead of going into Quick Trip, where I just out of habit bought a pack of the cigars that I liked and I smoked every day, and I smoked 2 packs of Blackstone cherry cigars a day, so that's 10 cigars in a pack, and I smoked 2 packs, so I smoked 20 cigars. I did inhale, and I loved it when I was doing it. But now I'm like, well, I did put some damage on myself. So I'm going to tell you, if you don't smoke, don't start smoking. I didn't start smoking until I was 21, but if you would like to quit, the best way to do it is to break the buying habit. The other thing that I did is I created accountability. So I actually went public with it, and I was doing Facebook Lives at the time, and I said, you know what, guys, I've got goals, and I'm done smoking. I quit, and I went on there every day, and you know, you can't just do it once, too. You got to be on there. You got to make sure, put it in people's face that you're quitting. Oh, it's windy. It's windy. Look at them all flying around. So if you're going through some kind of struggle, I hope that helps. I hope that you can overcome it.